Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of Vishay Opto's Welcome Home series. I'm Jim Toll, I'm your host, and today we're going to go into my garage to find optoelectronic products. So before we go in the house, I wanted to stop by the garage door and talk about some infrared components that you might not even be aware are in your garage. If you have an automatic garage door opener, there is a safety switch that anywhere in North America anyways you have to have so that the garage door doesn't close down on a child who's in the path of the garage door. Right. So 20 feet away from me is an infrared emitter with a collimating lens in front of it, and it takes the energy, light energy, from the infrared emitter and collimates it to almost so it's like a point source, and you can come across here, and here is the receiver side of this garage door safety switch. It also has a lens to gather light from the emitter and to focus it onto an IR receiver. Both the infrared emitter and the IR receiver are from Vishay. Now, when the light is not blocked, there's a red indicator LED that tells you that the system is powered up and it's functioning properly. Now hopefully you can see this. When I block the light, the red LED indicator turns off. That means that there's an object in the way. Now sometimes if you've had this happen where the garage door doesn't stop or doesn't come down, the actual beam gets misaligned, and you just have to turn that infrared emitter until that red light indicator turns on. So again, when it's blocked, the light isn't getting to the receiver, the light turns off, and the garage door won't work. So we've seen, at least at the front door and in the garage door, there's optoelectronic components that you're really familiar with. Now let's go into the house. But before we do that, let's just take a quick look at some teardowns of the garage door, infrared emitter, and receiver safety switches. So I'm back in my sound studio here in San Jose. I wanted to show you a teardown of the IR receiver side and the infrared emitter modules. My particular garage door safety switch is 23 years old, so that brand was no longer available in the stores, and I didn't really feel like tearing apart mine. So I bought a different version. This one from looks like 2008. It does have the Vishay IR receiver in it, and you can see that the lens is focusing the light onto that IR receiver. In this case, it's a cast version. It's really not a receiver that's being used anymore because we have much better lensing and much smaller devices. We are the world's leading supplier of IR receivers. When a customer really cares about remote control, or in this case a sensing function, they will choose Vishay. We have the leading transmission range, and we have the best noise suppression. Do go to our website at vishay.com/IR receiver modules to see our most recent offering. On the IR emitter side, they're using the TSAL 6200 through-hole emitter. It has a peak wavelength of 940 nanometers and a fairly narrow angle of emission of plus or minus 17 degrees. Vishay is ranked in the top 3 for IR emitters in the world. We have a broad portfolio of wavelengths and surface mount and through-hole packages. We have emission angles that go down to plus or minus 3 degrees, so you can get quite narrow beams coming out of the infrared emitters. And again, I do recommend that you go to vishay.com/IR emitting diodes to see our complete portfolio. So in the garage door safety switch, we talked about infrared emitters and IR receivers. For our complete portfolio, go to vishay.com/opto, and thanks for your time.